Hey guys, Raj Sangha of Car Security. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another episode of Slam Sanctuary Customs. Today we'll be focusing on the C124, that's the Mercedes Coupe beside me. So sit back and hopefully you'll enjoy this episode. Right, in the previous episode, you would have seen all the paint correction that was done to the Mercedes. Thank you very much, Dips of Customs Cars. If you've not seen that episode, we'll drop a link up at the end of this episode. Please make sure you watch it. Now today, we'll be focusing on two stages, audio and security. We are called Car Audio Security at the end of the day. This Mercedes has no stereo and stock speakers. So we will be adding a Kenwood DAB Bluetooth ready stereo, upgrading the front speakers, the rear speakers, and adding some bass with a separate amplifier. That's stage one. Stage two, we need to add some security. There is no alarm system on this Mercedes whatsoever. So we will add a Viper alarm system with an immobilizer and remote start. Now that's pretty cool. So you'll be able to start the car by pressing a button. Right guys, I know the engineers are waiting for me, so I think it's time. I jumped in the car, took it over to the workshop and let them crack on with the install.
Jay.
I'm sorry, I was just pondering.
I know you were pondering how to even start this thing.
Yeah, I think we're gonna attack just because the front and rear speakers are going to be a swap out.
Okay.
So I think we're going to take the front and rear speakers out, see what we've got to deal with in terms of depth and size and what we're putting in there.
Yep.
Then head unit. Obviously, it's missing electric aerial, so we're going to retain one of those.
Yeah.
We're going to use a data splitter to run the DAB off that as well.
Okay.
And we're going to run some power wires from the front to the back, fit a amp, I believe,
Yep.
in the boot.
When it's all clear.
When it's all clear, so yeah, we'll empty that out.
Yep.
And that's it, we'll take it from there. So we'll see
what
as we go along what we've
Nice.
got to play with. Mercedes aerial from factory,
And that totally works.
and I've just tested it and it works. It goes up and down fine, so I am going to reinstate it. The aerial done.
Aerial's done.
So we're going with these. Right guys, these are the speakers that are currently in the Merc, front and back. They're actually Alpine speakers. Pretty good back in the day, but not now. These are absolutely shot. In fact, you can see where the paper cone is ripped. And let me show you one of the others. There you go. So you can imagine how these sound. Terrible. Now we are replacing them with power-based speakers. These are 13 centimeter. We can go 10 centimeter, which is a little bit smaller. They'll be easier to fit. We just need to make a template, but we want to stick to the same size. Now, most 13 centimeter speakers have these collars. So we're going to have to modify the speaker, remove the collars for the front, and also remove the collars to fit them into these pods, which are in the back shelf. So there's a little bit of work involved, nothing major. We're also going to use some Dynamat just to sort of seal the speaker off and ensure there's no rattling. Stereo wise, we are going with this Kenwood KDC BT740 DAB. It's got Bluetooth, it's got DAB radio, it's good for iPhone, it's good for Android phone as well. It's got 2 RCA preouts. We're only using 1 RCA preout, which is the subwoofer preout, which will go into this power base mono amp. And finally, we've got the 2 power base subwoofers here, 12-inch woofers. We're going to have to make a custom box. Let's get on with it.
What's that for, Joe?
This is a DAB splitter. So where older cars where have a manual aerial like that, which is not amplified, like an electric aerial, we can add one of these in there to give you a DAB signal instead of putting one on the windscreen. So you'll have that going into the aerial. And you'll have that going into your DAB. And your normal aerial will plug into there. Sealing the box a bit because it's a ported box. I mean, it's not really sealed, but obviously we're just sealing any joints where, so the air doesn't escape where it's not meant to.
Okay. And how did you figure out how to make the box then, Jay?
Well, every sub has a spec sheet.
Okay.
So what we've done is Blade's got software. So what we've done is just input the data into that. And that's given us the dimensions of the boxes we can give and what frequency it'll play at. So that's what that sheet there is basically. We're trimming up the sub box and amp panel for our W124 project. So we've ordered this carpeting, which matches our boot carpet, the original colour, quite well. So we've ordered that in. So what I'm going to do is go ahead, trim this sub box. I am going to have the joint on the top face, simple fact. Well, because I've got another trim panel going over, like that, so the subs are slightly recessed in. So what I'll do is I'll jump on trimming this box up quickly and get all the bits together, then we'll put the subs in and maybe drop the subs in the car later on today. So we'll show you guys the process of that. Thank you all.
now complete in our Merc 124 Coupe. I'll run you through the audio and then I'll run you through the security as well. Right guys, let's talk audio. We have fitted the Kenwood KDC BT740 DAB, singled in stereo, full depth with CD player, with USB, FM radio and DAB radio. Also has Bluetooth for hands-free calls and also Bluetooth streaming, so you can stream your music from apps such as Spotify. It's also compatible with Amazon Alexa and Siri. So that's the stereo fitted. Now in the front we've fitted the Powerbase S5202 two-way 13 centimeter coaxial speakers. Obviously we've shown you the installation process earlier. In fact, let me show you that speaker. So that's the speaker there. It's fairly shallow mount, silk dome tweeter on the top and 120 watts peak power. They have been installed front on the dash and on the rear deck as well. They are running directly from the stereo. The stereo is good for 50 watts per channel. It's got a 13 band EQ built in as well. And it's got 2 RCA preamps. So you can add a 4-channel amp or a single 2-channel amp and a bass amp to the stereo. If you recall, we've also added some Dynamat around the speakers on the dash and on the back deck. That will improve the overall quality of the sound and reduce any rattling. You guys are probably wondering, why have we gone with the Kenwood stereo? Well, there are many options for stereos out there, and in fact there's some cool retro stereos such as the Blackburn SQR46 DAB, but it's double the price of the Kenwood. And what we are trying to do here is to keep this project within a budget. It's quite easy to blow that budget out of the water and go for some expensive speakers, an expensive amp, stereo, and so on and so on. So that's the reason why we've gone with the Kenwood. The Blackburn that I mentioned, there is a video already on the channel. We'll throw a link up to that video. Watch that video if you're after a cool retro looking unit. Right guys, let's go and check out the rest of the install. Right, before I open the boot, antenna. Now we found the original antenna. It was actually in the boot. Needed a little bit of TLC, and there was no, well in fact originally the actual rubber grommet was damaged, so we found some replacement grommets. So the antenna is working now. We've also used a Connects to DAB splitter which splits the FM and the DAB signal, so we don't actually need a DAB antenna on the windscreen. So that's actually pretty cool as well. Now let's open the boot and show you what's in the boot. Right, so what have we done in the boot? Well, firstly, we've added the Powerbase ACS 500D mono amplifier, and we've also added 2 Powerbase subwoofers, 12-inch subwoofers, S1204D. Now, as you can see, it's trimmed in a very similar color to the original boot carpet. We could have just used gray or black carpet, which is typically what you'd get on a sub box, but we thought, you know what, let's try and keep it in keeping with the interior finish of the vehicle. So we managed to source some similar carpet. The actual box itself is a custom enclosure, and we use the Powerbase parameters to make a custom enclosure for both the subwoofers. And as you can see, we've trimmed around the amplifier. There's a board there, and we've trimmed around the amplifier just to give it that sort of custom installation feel. Very sympathetic audio upgrade. You've still got loads of space in the boot to put a suitcase or whatever it is. So, you know, although we've added 2 subwoofers, we haven't taken up all the boot space. I think I should give you guys a little demo of this. So let's get back in the car, I'll give you a demo. Right, so I've already paired my phone via Bluetooth. So this is now streaming from my phone. Let's turn this up a bit. Very, very, very impressive. Now, I didn't listen to the car beforehand because there was no stereo, and I showed you the original speakers, the Alpines, they were shot, but this sounds impressive. This is far better than a stock stereo system. Clear clarity from the front speakers and the rear speakers, and plenty of bass. Those two subs are actually giving a nice, tight, punchy bass. Now, it's not overkill. It's not what we wanted in this car. If you want overkill, have a look at our Ford Escort RS Turbo bass van project. That's what you call overkill. This is a nice, sympathetic install, and you can play your music, drive your car, cruise, and now, whilst you are cruising, you can enjoy your tunes, whatever genre of music you listen to. Now let's talk security. We have fitted the Viper 386 VI one-way security system. This has built-in immobilizer, it does the central locking. We've also added window modules, so this will give you total closure as well, so when you lock the car, it'll close the windows for you as well. Another cool feature on this alarm is remote start. So what is remote start? In brief, in the winter months, when it's cold outside, maybe there's frost on the car, maybe there's a bit of snow on the car, what you can do is when you park the car up overnight, leave your heating on full blast. In the morning, before you're about to depart, maybe 4 or 5 minutes before you're about to depart, hit the remote start button. There's the key fob. That's the button you need to hit. The car will start, and a few minutes later you jump in the car. It's nice and warm inside, and hopefully the car is defrosted as well. In the summer months, what you can do is leave the cold air on. So when you park the car, leave your cold air on, leave the AC on, and in the morning, before you're about to go to work, hit the remote start button. You jump in your car a few minutes later, it's nice, ice cold in your car. So that's the advantage of the remote start. Right, let's give you a demo of this remote start feature. Right guys, so we've got the Viper remote control here. The button at the top is for central locking. The car is locked. The immobilizer is kicked in, the car is secure. Now, if you want to remote start the alarm, you just press this button here, which is the remote start button. Press for 2 seconds, the indicators will flash, and the car will start, as you see there. Now, you're probably wondering, what would happen if somebody smashed the window and jumped in and tried to drive off? Well, you can't, because you still have to disarm the car and then jump in, put your key in the ignition barrel, turn the key, put the car into drive, and then drive off. You also obviously need to press the brake pedal as well to ensure you can put the car into D. So yeah, it's impossible to steal the car. Now, to turn it off, you just press the remote start button again, and it will turn off. Guys, I have a question for you. Should we change the steering wheel? I don't like this Mercedes steering wheel. I don't like the wood trim that's on there. Should we change it to this Momo California wood steering wheel? How would that look in there? What are your opinions? Should we leave the original steering wheel, or should we change it to this? Let me know in the comments below. Right guys, that's the end of the audio and the security episode, and also the steering wheel episode. Remember, let us know what you think of the steering wheel. The next episode will be featuring the installation of the airlift air ride, and also hopefully the wheels will be back from Voodoo Motorsport. So make sure you tune in probably in a couple of weeks' time for that episode. Now guys, any questions you have, any comments you have, drop them down below. In terms of pricing on the products and technical specifications on the products, there'll be links at the end of this episode for all the equipment that's been installed: speakers, stereo, subwoofers, the alarm itself. Just drop us an email or drop us a DM via social media, and we'll price you up accordingly. Also guys, remember, this car will be going up for sale once we have finished. So once the air's done, the wheels are on there, the car's been detailed, it will be going up for sale. So make sure you keep an eye on our socials and keep watching, so you might be able to bag yourself this car. Obviously, like, that's very, very important. Share and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back pretty soon with another update on the Mercedes 124 Coupe project. See you soon.